Nathan Blackwood woke up to a throbbing pain pulsing through his skull. His eyelids felt unbearably heavy, and the stark white ceiling above him forced him to blink several times before his vision cleared. The air carried a distinct scent of antiseptic, accompanied by the rhythmic beeping of a heart monitor. His brow furrowed. Am I in a hospital? He tried to lift his arm, but his muscles were stiff, as if he had been lying motionless for days. And then something caught his eye, a glimmer of gold on his left hand. A wedding ring. His breath hitched. What the hell is going on? He turned his hand over, staring at the simple yet elegant band encircling his ring finger. Panic crawled up his spine. He had no memory of this ring, no memory of ever being married. The door suddenly swung open. A stunning woman with flowing chestnut hair and piercing blue eyes stepped inside. Her expression was a mix of relief and worry as she rushed toward him, her hands trembling as she reached for his arm. "Nathan, you're awake!" Her voice cracked with emotion. "Thank God, I was so scared." Nathan stared at her, his mind blank. He didn't recognize her, but what unsettled him most was her eyes. Those were not the eyes of a stranger. They held something deeper, something intimate. The way she looked at him, like she loved him, like she had shared a lifetime of moments with him. His throat felt dry as he finally spoke. "Who are you?" Her radiant smile vanished instantly. The color drained from her face, and her blue eyes filled with raw, unmistakable pain. "Nathan," she drew in a shaky breath. "It's me, Isabel, your wife." Nathan's heart nearly stopped. Wife? The word felt foreign, like a title belonging to someone else. But he didn't remember her, not at all, and that terrified him. Nathan's heart pounded in his chest. The world around him blurred, as if he had just stepped into a reality that wasn't his own. "This can't be," he murmured, his eyes locked on the woman before him. Isabel swallowed hard, clearly trying to stay composed. "I know this must be overwhelming for you, but it's the truth. You are my husband, Nathan." He shook his head, the confusion clawing at his sanity. "I don't remember you. I don't remember being married at all." Just then, the door opened again, and a middle-aged man in a crisp white coat entered. His presence was calm yet authoritative, his sharp eyes filled with experience. "Nathan, I'm Dr. Reynolds. Let me explain your condition." Nathan shifted his gaze to the doctor, his mind already swimming with a million questions. Dr. Reynolds continued, "You were in an accident. Your private jet suffered a mechanical failure while flying from London to New York. Though the pilot attempted an emergency landing, the impact caused significant trauma to your head. When you were brought in 3 days ago, you were unconscious." Nathan felt a strange tightness in his chest. "A plane crash?" The doctor's expression softened. "We ran multiple tests and confirmed that you're suffering from retrograde amnesia. You've lost approximately 5 years of your memory." 5 years! Nathan's breath caught in his throat. How was that possible? A whole portion of his life gone? His gaze drifted back to Isabel. She was still standing there, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "I've been here the whole time," she whispered, "waiting for you to wake up, hoping you'd remember me." Nathan clenched his jaw, a strange sensation twisting in his chest. He didn't know Isabel, but some part of him didn't want to hurt her. Nathan sat in silence on the hospital bed, his mind overwhelmed by the weight of everything he had just learned. A man who had always been in control, now lost in his own past. A few days later, he was discharged and sent home, but home was a foreign concept. The sleek black luxury car pulled up in front of a massive penthouse in Manhattan, perched atop a towering skyscraper with a panoramic view of the city. As Nathan stepped inside, he expected the cold sterility of wealth. Instead, he was met with a warmth he couldn't explain, a space curated with an undeniable sense of care. Lining the wooden shelves were photographs of him and Isabel, laughing, dancing under golden lights, sitting by the ocean as the wind tangled through her hair. Nathan felt uneasy. Was this truly his life? Isabel led him into the master bedroom. "This is our room," she said softly, then hesitated. "But I understand if you're not ready. I can sleep elsewhere." Nathan didn't respond immediately. He scanned the room, searching for something, anything, that felt familiar. A piano sat in the corner, adorned with handwritten sheet music. An antique watch rested on the bedside table, and for some reason, he felt as if he had touched it before. But his mind was still blank. "I'll take the guest room," he finally muttered, his voice hoarse. Isabel gave a small, understanding smile, as if she had expected that. "All right, whatever makes you comfortable." The days that followed, Nathan began watching Isabel more closely. He noticed the way she made his coffee exactly how he liked it without needing to ask. He noticed the way she hummed a tune while cooking, a melody that felt vaguely familiar. He didn't remember her. But something about her made it impossible to look away. It was frustrating, terrifying even. How could a stranger feel so familiar? Nathan couldn't deny it. Isabel wasn't a stranger to his life. She knew his habits, the way he liked his coffee, the slight furrow of his brow when he was deep in thought, but most importantly, she never pressured him to remember or to love her the way he once had. One afternoon, Isabel drove him to one of his luxury hotels, one of the crown jewels of his empire. "Where are we here?" Nathan asked as he stepped out of the car. Isabel smiled. "You built this place with me, I thought. Maybe it could help you remember." Nathan gazed up at the towering structure, its sleek architecture reflecting the evening sunlight. He ran his fingers along the cool glass of the lobby's entrance. And then it happened. A flicker of an image. A memory. He and Isabel standing right there, locked in a spirited debate about the lobby's design. He remembered her insisting on adding a fountain, while he argued it was unnecessary. And then, laughter. He could hear it, feel it, and he had given in to her request in the end. Nathan stumbled back, gripping the nearest surface as his vision blurred. The images weren't just flickers, they were vivid, overwhelming. He could hear her laughter, feel the warmth of the evening sun against his skin. It was as if, for one fleeting moment, he was back in that exact moment in time. It wasn't just a flicker, it was a rush, a moment so vivid it felt like he was reliving it rather than remembering it. Isabel caught the shift in his expression. "Nathan," she whispered. He turned to her, his breath uneven. I think I just remembered something." She held her breath. What was it? Slowly, Nathan described the fragmented memory that had just surfaced. As he spoke, Isabel's eyes lit up with hope. "That really happened," she confirmed, her voice trembling with emotion. "You gave in because you said, if a fountain could make me happy, then it deserved a place here." Nathan didn't know how to respond. His mind was still foggy, but the warmth in his chest was undeniable. It was the first memory he had reclaimed. After his first recovered memory, Nathan felt something shifting inside him. The gaps in his mind were still there, but Isabel no longer felt like a stranger. One day, Isabel told him she wanted to take him somewhere special, their private villa in Italy. "Why there?" Nathan asked as their private jet landed in the breathtaking countryside. Isabel turned to him, her eyes shimmering with quiet hope. "Because this place meant everything to us. I think it might help you remember." The villa sat atop a rolling hill, surrounded by endless vineyards. As they stepped into the garden, Nathan felt something strange. A pull, a whisper of familiarity. As the fairy lights above them flickered to life under the night sky, Nathan's heartbeat quickened. He didn't know why, but this place felt important. Then, a flash of a memory. Himself standing right there, dropping to one knee, a velvet ring box in his hand. Nathan blinked, his breath catching. He glanced around, trying to make sense of what he just saw. "Isabel," his voice was unsteady. "This is where I proposed to you, isn't it?" Isabel's lips parted in shock. Then, her eyes welled with tears and she nodded, her voice barely above a whisper. "Yes, right here." A storm of emotions crashed over Nathan. He could feel himself in that moment, hear the rapid beat of his heart as he waited for her answer. Without thinking, he stepped forward and captured Isabel in a deep kiss. It wasn't out of duty, it wasn't out of an attempt to remember, It came from somewhere deeper, from his heart. For the first time since waking up, Nathan didn't feel lost anymore. From that moment, the missing pieces in Nathan's mind began to realign. The memories didn't come back all at once, but his feelings for Isabel did. He started remembering little things. The way she smiled when it rained, the way she rested her head on his chest while reading, the way she looked at him like he was her whole world. Day by day, Nathan became certain of one thing. He had loved Isabel once, and he was falling for her all over again. One evening, as they sat together on the rooftop of his hotel, Nathan reached across the table and took her hand in his. "I can't say I remember everything," he admitted, "because I don't. Not yet." Isabel's expression turned cautious. "Then what do you know?" "That I love you." Isabel's breath hitched, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Nathan," he squeezed her hand tighter, "my memories may not be whole, but my heart has already found you again." Tears finally spilled down Isabel's cheeks, but this time, they weren't from sadness. They were from pure joy. Then, without warning, Nathan stood up and pulled a small velvet box from his pocket. "I want to marry you again." Isabel gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. For a moment, she just stood there, frozen. Nathan's stomach twisted. Had he misread everything? Was this too soon? And then she let out a sob, nodding furiously as she laughed through her tears. Nathan's chest tightened. What if she said no? What if this wasn't enough? "Will you be my wife again, Isabel?" She nodded, sobbing through her laughter. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." Nathan beamed as he slipped the ring onto her finger, and as their lips met in a kiss filled with love, he knew memories may fade, but true love will always find its way back. 2 weeks later, Nathan and Isabel held a vow renewal ceremony, a new beginning for their love. Their villa in Italy, the place where Nathan had once proposed, was transformed into a romantic haven with candles, white roses, and golden fairy lights. Their closest family and friends gathered to witness Nathan and Isabel exchange their vows once more. Nathan took Isabel's hands, his gaze steady and unwavering. He had spent years chasing power, success, control, but standing here looking into her eyes, he realized none of it had ever mattered as much as this moment. "No matter how many memories I've lost, I've always known that my heart belongs to you." Isabel smiled through her tears, her voice trembling with emotion. "And I know that no matter how much you forget, our love will always remain." As they sealed their vows with a kiss, applause and cheers filled the night air. But to Nathan, none of that mattered. He had found Isabel again, and this time, he would never let her go. Under the starlit sky, surrounded by the glow of twinkling lights, they danced together, beginning a new chapter, one of love, of rediscovery, and of the memories they would create all over again. Nathan Blackwood had never been a man of sentimentality. His life had always been dictated by logic, strategy, and power plays, until Isabel. Until fate decided to rewrite his past and give him a second chance at a love he had once lost. Now, months after their vow renewal, life with Isabel felt like rediscovering a book he had once adored but forgotten the details of. Each page, each moment with her, was both new and familiar. One quiet morning, as golden sunlight streamed through the penthouse windows, Nathan stirred awake to the scent of coffee, the exact way he liked it, strong with a hint of vanilla. He turned over to find Isabel sitting on the edge of the bed, her eyes scanning an old leather-bound notebook. "What are you reading?" he murmured, his voice husky from sleep. Isabel looked up, a soft smile playing on her lips. "Your old journal?" Nathan's brows lifted in surprise. He didn't recall keeping a journal. She flipped through the worn pages, then handed it to him. "You wrote this before the accident. Notes, thoughts, even little things about me." Nathan hesitated before taking it, his fingers brushing against the faded ink. He read the words scribbled across the top of one page. October 14th. "She stole my tie this morning, said it smelled like me. I pretended to be annoyed, but honestly, I liked it." He chuckled. "You really did that?" Isabel smirked. "I still do. Check your closet." Nathan shook his head in amusement, flipping to another page. His chest tightened when he saw a different entry, written in a more serious hand. November 22. She thinks I don't notice, but I see the way she looks at me when she thinks I'm not watching. Like she sees something in me that even I don't. I don't know what I did to deserve her, but I know I don't ever want to lose her. Nathan swallowed hard. He didn't remember writing that, but he felt every word of it. Setting the journal aside, he reached out, pulling Isabel into his arms. I think I was always meant to love you. She buried her face against his chest, her voice barely above a whisper. And I was always meant to find my way back to you. Life had returned to normal, or at least a new kind of normal. Nathan had reclaimed most of his memories, but there were still gaps, pieces of their past that felt like whispers rather than vivid recollections. Instead of chasing them, he chose to make new ones. One evening, Isabel surprised him with a trip back to their villa in Italy, the place where their love had been rekindled. They wandered through the vineyards, the golden hues of sunset casting a warm glow over the rolling hills. Isabel reached for his hand, their fingers interlocking effortlessly. You know, she mused, when I first brought you here after the accident, I was terrified. Nathan arched a brow. Terrified? Of me? She shook her head, her expression soft. No. Of losing you. Of bringing you here and realizing that maybe I wasn't enough to help you remember. Nathan stopped walking, turning her to face him. His gaze was unwavering. You were never just a memory, Isabel. You were my heart. And you still are. Isabel let out a small, shaky laugh, blinking away the emotion in her eyes. You really have changed, Nathan Blackwood. He smirked. I'd like to think I just found myself again. And as they stood there, beneath the same twinkling lights that had once witnessed their love story begin anew, Nathan knew, this time there would be no forgetting. Only forever.